Good morning.
Good morning, Samantha. How are you today?
Hats off to you.
Why?
And you. Because you're staying with us through all of these chapters of John. And you can get distracted in John by just reading on and, like you said yesterday, doing lots of research, going down alleyways and...
Because it's history.
It's fun.
It's an account of Jesus's life on the earth as a human and as God.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is amazing. I love one thing.
Say it.
Many things. But one thing I heard recently that David Osteen spoke about, he's doing an overview on John. Great timing for us. It's always great timing anyway. And he was saying that, okay, well, why is there 4 Gospels? Why is there Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Why do we need 4? And, you know, some people like try and merge it and say, well, actually, they have all this in common. It's all the same. Or, you know, I don't know, making whatever kind of assumptions about the 4 books.
Okay.
Bottom line is this. God spoke through the Spirit to these 4 men to write these 4 books for a purpose. They're in there, they're different, but they're all part of the Bible for a reason.
Of course.
And John is unique. There is so much in John that is blowing my mind. And I don't even know how I ever read it before, not understanding right division.
I know.
It's quite incredible. So don't ever discount any book in the Bible. Every single book in the Bible is there for a purpose.
Gosh.
There's 66 books for a reason. And we just happen to be studying John at the moment, chapter 13. So how does your challenge going, Samantha?
Oh, well, I'm having a couple of days break from that challenge.
Okay.
As we discussed yesterday.
Right.
So I'll let you know when I'm back.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I'm planning to actually do a trick. I'm going to do a Samantha trick and do Pilates.
Are you?
I love Pilates. I actually used to be a Pilates instructor. So, you know.
What will you do? Will you do one of Sylvia's? You should do one of Sylvia's.
Well, I should. Actually,
Why
maybe
do you
I
hate
will.
Sylvia?
Mate, I don't hate Sylvia. I have an auntie Sylvia.
I love
the name Sylvia. We said that together. I will do a Sylvia. I normally just do my own because I actually love Pilates. I often am doing Pilates moves during my day because you're in bed, you do a little 100, you're out of bed, you do a little side plank, thread the needle.
Doesn't ever happen to me during my day.
Where's my sock? Oh, it's over there. I'll just
do
thread the needle, go get my sock, put it on. This is the way I live my life. Right. So I will do a Sylvia.
Well, there are some links.
Pilates.
You should do a Sylvia. Do one of the hard ones.
I might do more than one.
Okay.
Might be on a roll with
Great.
Sylvia. Awesome. So we are up to chapter 13.
Do it. Read it.
I will read it, and I am just finding it. Here we go. Now, before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end.
And supper being ended, the devil, having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him,
Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from God and went to God,
he riseth from supper, and laid aside his garments, and took a towel, and girded himself.
After that, he poureth water into a basin with an O-N, a basin.
Where?
Verse 5.
What do you mean? Mine says
that. Did yours say something different?
basin, B-A-S-I-N.
What?
Oh dear. What's going on?
I have a basin.
I have a basin.
Do you really?
That's weird. Okay.
Okay, that's something to look up. Okay, begin again at verse 5. After that, he poureth water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded.
Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet?
Jesus answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter.
Peter saith unto him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Jesus answered him, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me.
Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head.
Jesus saith to him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all.
For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, Ye are not all clean.
So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments and was set down again, he said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you?
Ye call me Master and Lord, and ye say well, for so I am.
If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet.
For I have given you an example, that ye should do as I have done to you.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him.
If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them.
I speak not of you all. I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me.
Now I tell you before it come, that when it come to pass, ye may believe that I am he.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me.
When Jesus had thus said, he was troubled in spirit, and testified and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me.
Then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake.
Now there was leaning on Jesus' bosom one of his disciples whom Jesus loved.
Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake.
He then lying on Jesus' breast saith unto him, Lord, who is it?
Jesus answered, He it is to whom I shall give a sop when I have dipped it. And when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon.
And after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Jesus unto him, That thou doest, do quickly.
Now no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him.
For some of them thought, because Judas had the bag, that Jesus had said unto him, Buy those things that we have need of against the feast, or that he should give something to the poor.
He then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night.
Therefore, when he was gone out, Jesus said, Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him.
If God be glorified in him, God shall also glorify him in himself, and shall straightway glorify him.
Little children, let a little while.
Yet.
Little children, yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall seek me, and as I said unto the Jews, Whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you,
A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
Simon Peter said unto him, Lord, whither goest thou? Jesus answered him, Whither I go, thou canst not follow me now, but thou shalt follow me afterwards.
Peter said unto him, Lord, why cannot I follow thee now? I will lay down my life for thy sake.
Jesus answered him, Wilt thou lay down thy life for my sake? Verily, verily, I say unto thee, the cock shall not crow till thou hast denied me thrice.
Wow.
That's a horrible chapter, isn't it? Thinking about that Judas. But the devil is allowed to come and do his work. The devil is in charge of this world.
But God allows him
Correct.
to be, because he has a course that has to be followed.
Yeah.
And this course is running to an end soon. These things had to take place. Otherwise, God would be a liar, because there's prophecy about all this type of thing happening. Like even where it talks about rising up against me. Where does it say that?
Is it near the Satan bit? Oh, my heel.
Yeah, where's that?
18.
Okay.
I speak not of
He
you
that
all.
eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me.
Yeah.
Now we hear about the heel in Genesis with
Yes.
Satan.
Being bitten.
Yeah, like that.
Crushed under the heel.
Yeah, and that he would continually attack the heel of humanity.
Right.
So it's interesting that he says heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, breaking bread is something that you did in fellowship. Like you did it with your friends. You didn't do it with any old bloke in the street.
Wow.
So he's invited Judas in with all these other people who he loves and trusts
And he
to break bread.
He even washed his feet.
That's correct.
But
and we've
he
talked
said-
about that before.
He said that they're not all clean. So
No.
I'll wash you, but some of you aren't going to be fully clean.
Yeah. So, you know, the Jews were very intent on being clean and purification things.
Yeah.
So you would wash yourself
Yeah.
before you left home if you're going to someone else's house for dinner.
That's polite.
And the host, it's their role to either provide you with water to wash your own feet.
Sounds Japanese.
Or give you slaves to do it. Because remember, that was the job for the lowliest
Right.
of the low. And they would walk everywhere in sandals. So they would arrive with crusty old junky feet. Like they've washed their body,
Yeah.
but to be clean again before
Yes.
eating, they would have to have their feet washed.
Yeah.
So for Jesus to do that, these people, they can't believe it. They're like, what do you mean? Why are you washing my feet? I don't want you to wash my feet.
And then when he describes to Peter why, Peter's like, give me a hose down. Like, I'll take it all. He's such a funny guy.
Not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Wash
He
me
gets
all.
reprimanded a lot. Like, he's so out there, isn't he? Like, and now right at the end, he's saying that Jesus is saying to Peter, you're going to deny me thrice before the rooster crows. That's pretty cool.
Is that the same Peter? Oh, yeah, Simon Peter.
Yeah.
So Simon Peter said unto him, Lord, whither goest thou? Do not follow me. Peter said unto him. When they change words,
I know,
change names,
it is
it's confusing.
It's the same guy. It's definitely the same guy.
So,
I was
you know,
there. It was the same guy. No.
yeah, right. When it says John was leaning on Jesus's bosom, like
Yeah.
for us, that sounds really weird. Like
It sounds weird.
they're eating dinner.
Yeah.
Like
they're reclining. It's
They're
the way that
reclining.
they did it. Like,
Yeah.
They probably didn't have chairs even. They probably had cushions
Couches.
and I don't know.
So the Roman way of eating is what they've adopted at this time. So
Really?
they would have like generally it's called a triclinium.
Oh yeah.
So you've got one couch here, one couch here, one couch here, and the Romans would have entertainment on the other side of the square.
Right.
But many people would be lying on those couches. So if there's
yeah.
a couch here,
Okay.
the food table is here,
Okay.
and then you'll put your head here and your feet over here so you can watch the entertainment.
Are you lying
wouldn't have
down?
you're lying down. So
Right.
you're lying on your left side because
Right.
that was thought to be better for digestion. But
Okay.
the person at the back here would have their head close to the table.
Right.
So let's say that was Jesus.
Right.
John may have been lying here with his head in Jesus's bosom, because as the people progressed down the table, so that you wouldn't
Right.
block the view of the person behind you, it would kind of be
Scattered.
scattered, kind of layered like that.
Right,
So you can just reach over with your right hand and get the food from the table that was
Right.
low to the ground.
So this is reminding me a lot of Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're all about cleanliness. You change your slippers in each room. You wear a lot of bare feet. There's lots of reclining in the Japanese culture. You know, they have the low tables to the ground.
Well, there's nothing new under the sun, right? That's what they say
I
in
actually
Ecclesiastes.
prefer to be on the ground. So, you know, I understand that to some degree. And, you know, when I'm hanging out with my friends, you know, because we're not looking at this in a perverted way. Jesus is not perverted. He's pure. Jesus, when he's lying on Jesus, John, when he's lying on Jesus, it's not perverted or weird.
They're friends.
They're friends. They're, you know, they live alongside each other with a common goal
Yeah.
to learn from. The disciples are learning from Jesus and wanting
Yeah.
to grow.
And these are all friends here. Like
Yeah.
they're not. I mean,
Except Judas
yeah, forget about
Iscariot.
Judas.
Yeah.
Yesterday he was their friend.
Wow. Yeah. He made a choice in his heart, just like Satan. And then Satan actually indwells him. So
Yeah, that's
there's another time coming in the future where Satan is going to indwell someone. Do we know about that, Sam?
we do. But I just want to say, like, until reading this, I didn't really understand that that's what was happening with Judas.
Right.
And again, you have stories of Judas. You know that he's the one who betrayed Jesus.
Yeah.
When you're a kid growing up,
Yeah.
even if you're not in church, you know that as a
Right.
human.
Yeah. Well,
But you just think
Some
he's a
might.
bad guy.
No.
He's
Yeah.
a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy who betrayed Jesus just out of his own greed or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're right. Satan is indwelling him.
Yes.
It tells
And
us.
God allowed that to happen. There was a choice of Judas that he made to do this. And Jesus is actually telling, in this story, we're seeing the progression. If you were just to read this through, you'd be like, oh, this is happening. Whoever takes this sop now is going to betray him. Okay, as he's taking it and eating it, Satan indwells him instantly. He's taking
Interesting
ownership of it.
that this is chapter 13.
Oh,
And Judas was the 13th at that supper, right?
I don't
We know that from reading other Gospels.
Okay.
We know that there were 12 at the Last Supper and Judas was the 13th, right? Anyway, we can
Would Jesus,
learn about that later.
Is Jesus including in that? Because it's
I
the
don't know.
12 disciples.
Don't know.
We can look
12
into
at
that.
the Last Supper. 12 guests, maybe.
Oh, right. Oh, because, yeah, well, I love that there's always these questions, Sam. I want to look at that
Chapter
now.
13.
We don't have time, though.
No, we don't have time.
But that's amazing. We should look into that.
We will.
We have all of our life until we get caught up to study this
So
amazing
tell
book.
us about who's going to be indwelled by Satan. Who
Right.
else?
Well, in the last days, perilous times shall come.
Like the Last Supper,
tribulation.
but the last days.
Yeah, that's right. So in the tribulation time, at the halfway mark of the 7 years, at 3.5 years, Satan is going to indwell the Antichrist. So there is,
What a terrifying concept.
yeah, and he's going to deceive many.
So when you think about, we've read all through John up to chapter 13 and we've seen these amazing things that
Yes.
Jesus has done, the good work that his disciples have been doing. They've been diligently obeying him.
Yeah.
They've been going around fighting against the Jews, standing up for
And
themselves.
learning every day. Jesus is teaching
Yeah.
them new lessons.
And then this person thinks it's a great idea. Firstly, the Pharisees are evil. And
Yes.
we don't like the Pharisees. But now one of his own people
Yeah.
is rising up against his heel, whatever,
Yeah.
and taking action to bring him down.
Yeah.
Like, even if he wasn't Jesus, that would make me really sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is going to happen again
That's right.
in a massive scale.
Yeah.
So
massive.
like the resurrection we talked about with Lazarus
Yeah.
being an example of how people can rise from the dead,
Yeah.
this is another example, Jess. The Last Supper,
Yes. There's patterns.
evil
all
rises
through.
up
Yeah.
and takes down, really, humanity at that time. It's going to happen again. Oh, tell us about it. Not in a scary way.
The exciting part is that Jesus wins, always wins, and he allows people to choose. There is a course that we need to take as people that have been created for a time on earth to live, and we get to choose whether we want light or darkness. And we're seeing that a lot in the book of John as well, that Jesus is the light of the world. But some people like to be in darkness. And, spoiler alert, Judas ends up hanging himself
Yeah.
because he realizes what he's done. There's so much darkness in deceit and sin and not wanting to come to the truth. During the tribulation is going to be a dark time. But for all those people out there that are believing that Jesus is God, that his perfect sacrifice was enough to forgive us of our sin, and we put our trust fully in him and his shed blood for us, you will not be here for the tribulation. So even though this is pointing to that happening, like you said, a pattern,
Yeah.
Judas is a pattern for the Antichrist. The Antichrist will come, deceive the hearts of the simple, and people will be deceived big time. And there will be no forgiveness in that time. Judas was at the point where he couldn't be forgiven.
Yeah.
As soon as Satan indwelled him.
Wow. So many patterns.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. And we can't even begin to scratch the surface, just even on this chapter. But we understand this.
Sorry.
Jesus knows what's going to happen, and he's telling them bit by bit by bit by bit. And we're up to him telling Peter that you're going to deny me 3 times. So my challenge for me today is my application of this, even though this is not written to me, this is written for me. I need to understand I'm going to get a chance to not deny Jesus today. And I will always try and remind myself of that during the day, to put him first.
Well, I don't want any of us to have the number 13 on us.
Oh, yeah.
That's today.
That's today. And
Thanks.
that's his blood that
Oh.
was shed for us, so that we remember that we are forgiven and we can walk in victory because of what Jesus has done for us, and he's alive. Cheering us on.
Yay. Yay.
Have such a great day, guys.